Chapter 9 of Hebrews. Hebrews chapter 9 verse 26. Come with me to Hebrews chapter 9 verse 26. 2 chapters later. Paul says, "For then must he often have suffered since the foundation of the world. But now, once in the end of the world, has he, Christ, appeared to put away sin by the sacrifice of himself." Why did Christ appear, according to this text? To put away sin. So question, was sin put away before he appeared? No. He needed to come. He came to put away sin. In order for sin to be put away, in order for sin to be ended, to make an end of sin, Christ had to appear. He had to come. We're told in Romans chapter 8, verse 3 and 4, that God sent his own Son in the likeness of sinful flesh. Why? To condemn sin in the flesh. For sin to be condemned in the flesh, what needed to happen? In the likeness of sinful flesh. Right? When did that happen? In the incarnation. So prior to the incarnation, under the Levitical priesthood, sin was not condemned. Sin was not brought an end to. And again in Hebrews chapter 2 verse 14, we read, "For as much then as the children are partakers of flesh and blood, he also himself likewise took part of the same, that through death he might destroy him that had the power of death, that is, the devil." How was the devil destroyed? According to this text? By the death of Christ. So prior to the death of Christ, was the devil destroyed? Prior to his death? No. Was sin condemned? Prior to his incarnation? No. Was sin brought to an end? No. So the coming in of Christ in the likeness of sinful flesh and then his death brought an end of sin. This is a part of the perfection that Paul is talking about. If perfection were by the Levitical priesthood, why was there a need for another priest to arise? The Levitical priesthood could not bring an end, could not make an end of sin. There was a need for another priest to arise, that is Christ. So that's one part, one aspect of the perfection. The other one is he made a reconciliation for iniquity. What do I mean by that? In the Old Testament, when a sinner sinned, he brought a lamb, he confessed his sin, blood was taken into the sanctuary, and the sinner was forgiven, right? Was the sin dealt with? Were the sins that were committed under the Old Covenant fully dealt with? Was the sinner fully reconciled to God? No. In Hebrews, again, chapter 9. Come with me to Hebrews chapter 9. There's an interesting text. Remember that God prophesied in Isaiah 53 that the Lord will lay upon him the iniquity of us all. It was a prophecy that the Lamb of God will come and God will lay the iniquity on him. But Hebrews chapter 9, verse 15, we were. Hebrews chapter 9, verse 15. Amen. And the Bible says, "And for this cause, he, that is Christ, is the mediator of the New Testament, that by means of death," why? "For the redemption of the transgressions that were under the first testament, they which are called might receive the promise of eternal life." So the sins that were committed under the Old Testament, under that Levitical priesthood, they were dealt with at the coming of Christ. Right? So, the sins under the Levitical priesthood were not dealt with until the coming of Christ. Was the sinner fully reconciled? No. Again, no, because we are told in 2 Corinthians that God was in Christ doing what? Reconciling the world unto himself. That now we are reconciled in Christ. So when was the sinner fully reconciled to God? In the coming of Christ.